Welcome to Monstro Mondayz. I'm your host, Smiley Monster, and if you're feeling the Monday blues, I'm here bringing the pink. And let me tell you, it's been kind of a crazy day. So I was just sitting here getting ready to record, and all of a sudden my laptop started playing some crazy music, and I don't know where it was coming from. I didn't have my Spotify open. I'm closing all my tabs and everything, and it just kept playing. I couldn't find out where it was coming from. It was like my laptop was possessed. And then I enter into StreamYard, and all of a sudden the anime's icon is floating all over the place, and I tried to restart my laptop and everything. Nothing went the way I expected, but you know what? I'm going to just keep smiling and I'm going to roll with it. And I'm just going to enjoy the rest of my day because I've noticed that if I start to get upset about everything, it snowballs and then I'm just grumpy and everybody around me is not happy. And so I'm just going to keep it smiley today. So bear with me if things don't go as planned, but I think we're going to still have a great time. So let's get this party started. Don't forget to subscribe, please. Give this video a like, ring the notification bell, and drop some love in the comments below. And the sponsor of today's episode is Castlehoff's Feline Fanatics Club. Is your life overflowing with purrs and hairballs? Do you find yourself instinctively meowing back at your cat? Then join Castlehoff's Feline Fanatics Club, the perfect haven for devoted cat lovers like you. For just $19.99 a month, which is less than the cost of a fancy catnip toy, you will receive a meowgical box of goodies delivered straight to your door every month. Think exclusive teas featuring hilarious cat memes, cozy mugs adorned with majestic feline portraits, and maybe even the occasional feather wand to keep your whiskered companion entertained. You get exclusive access to our online Catitude Corner, a virtual haven for sharing cat photos, swapping hilarious feline stories, and receiving expert advice from our resident cat guru, who may or may not be a particularly wise kitty named Miss Elizabeth. The prestigious title of Feline Fanatic, a badge of honor to proudly wear or meow about to the world. But wait, there's more. As a valued club member, you also enjoy priority discounts on Castlehoff's finest cat-related products, from luxurious scratching posts to gourmet catnip blends, and early access to exclusive events like Catitude Cafes and Meowvie Nights, because who doesn't love watching cat videos on the big screen? So don't wait. Join Castlehoff's Feline Fanatics Club today, because let's face it, your cat probably runs the household anyway, so why not celebrate their reign in style? And P.S., we guarantee 0 unsolicited cat photos from us. Well, unless it's Miss Elizabeth, because trust us, she's quite the charmer. Disclaimer, Castlehoff's Feline Fanatics Club membership does not guarantee your cat's approval, but hey, it's worth a shot, right? So what a week we have had, especially for Bitcoin. Those new Bitcoin ETFs seem to be creating a buying frenzy. You've got companies like BlackRock and Fidelity jumping in, and combined, they already hold a total of like $16 billion worth of Bitcoin. And even Bank of America is offering ETFs now too. So what does this mean? I mean, I'm thinking it seems like Bitcoin's becoming more mainstream. Traditional finance created like their own FOMO, really. And I think it could lead to more people not just wanting to buy Bitcoin, which will push the price up further, right? But more options like these ETFs, and getting them more exposure to Bitcoin also means more exposure to crypto. And you've got all these big institutions, they're buying Bitcoin, getting exposure to it. And maybe I live in the United States. I don't know where you guys live, but hopefully here we get some better rules from the US government, some kind of regulation of it. And I think some regulation would be good because that would make more people feel more comfortable investing in it, and Bitcoin's going on this roller coaster ride. Yeah, it's been going up this week, and the price could still go down. It could retrace. And who knows what the government's going to ultimately decide, about crypto. But I did see this statistic the other day on CoinDesk. Check it out. Okay. So, Bitcoin purchased by ETFs, this was the 27th of February, 10,050. Now, new Bitcoin produced by miners around like 900. So, do you see where I'm going with this? There is definitely a demand, but the supply is not going to be able to keep up with this. So, it'll be very interesting to see what happens. So, any of you guys hold some Bitcoin? Are you plan on waiting for the dip to buy in? I mean, I am not giving investment advice here, but it is very interesting to see how everyone is reacting to those latest ETFs. Okay. So, time for a Monstro Moolah madness. First, let's start with our farms. We just had our 28th weekly payout, which was made up of all earnings from Wednesday, February 21st through Tuesday, February 27th. Pulled in $29,894.47, which went 700 recipients. That was an increase of 81 this past week. The holders got 91.99% or $27,497.83. And the Treasury got 8.01% or $2,396.64. So, what does that mean? Well, the percentages look like this. If you were Genesis, you got Cycle A, you got an 2.43%, and they've already ROI'd one time. Cycle B got 2.43%. Cycle C and Spooky got 3.89%. Cycle D got 2.43%. And DGens, if you got a phase 2 NFT, they got $3.04 USDC per unit. So remember, Cycle C includes the bonus share from the new Cycle D sales, and we had 203 sold this past week. We have golems coming. Or is that golems? You got to tell me in the comments. Golems? What is it? It's coming and it will soon be upon us. So that's going to be something that you guys can get into with USDC. And the Genesis bonus from DGens, the claim tax was pretty small. So they're going to pay that out next week instead. Okay. For DGens 1.5, the deposit contest has ended. The winners are going to be announced this upcoming week, so keep your eye out on announcements, and hopefully we're going to have another contest. And right now I notice a lot of people are talking about DGens' base rate, the daily return you get. And right now, today, it's at 0.2%. But dudes, there's a way to push it back up to that juicy 1%. But the secret, I think, lies in collective action. Okay, so here's the deal. If everyone just claims 100% of all the rewards immediately, the base rate is going to stay low. I mean, think of it like a pie. The more people who take a big slice, the less pie there is for everybody else. But when people reinvest some of the rewards back into DGens, this is going to fuel growth. Imagine, adding more pie. Everybody's coming to the party with their own pie. This allows the base rate to rise, and that's a win-win, I think, for everybody. So I want you guys, if you're in DGens, think strategically. Maybe not claim everything at once, but consider reinvesting a portion to help that base rate climb up. Think also for the project's overall health and long-term growth. I mean, if you're just thinking short-term gains, that might be one strategy. But if you think about it, this thing could last a long time if everyone contributes and participates. And then also spread the word. Encourage others to deposit into DGens. The more depositors that we have, the healthier it's going to grow. The base rate will climb. Remember, that base rate is dynamic. So it's going to react to the majority's behavior. But hey, if we all work together and adopt this deposit and reinvest strategy, we can enjoy a higher base rate and it will help the project thrive. So just a little bit, I guess, let's call it investment advice, but you can take it or leave it. But I've noticed a lot of people are asking questions about that dynamic base rate. Yes, it does change according to how many claims and how many deposits or reinvests are made. Moving on, let's check out who is our monster of the week. I'm going to pull out his picture here. Monster of the week this week is Kelvin. We are shining a spotlight on him. He is always positive, always supportive. Did you know that he is a 25-year freelance IT cloud and blockchain consultant? I was checking that out on his bio. But we also consider him an asset here in Monstro. He's always reporting how he's smashing the Forex button on degens. He's always reminding everyone to click safe for good online security health. And he exemplifies, I think, the Monstro spirit. But also, you know what? He brings his friends into our community. He has a lot of enthusiasm. He's helpful. He's always answering questions. He just brings positive vibes. So please, everybody, give a shout out and say hi and thank you to Kelvin, our Monstro of the Week. It's time for Token Tingles. And now I'm just going to warn you guys, that weird music was playing. So if you see my mouth moving in a weird way, that's the reason why. But just check it out. Good morning and welcome to this week's Token Tingles. We're picking our token picks of the week that give us those exciting vibes and tingles down our crypto spines. This is the place to be if you're looking for the juiciest and most thrilling tokens. Welcome, V. How are you?
I'm good. It's a little early on Saturday morning, but I'm doing fine.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. So let's see how our tokens are doing. We have a nice list growing here, and these are the prices as of March 1st when I checked them out. So Team V is doing better. Teddy Bear is up 4.39%. Win is still down. It's down 64.29%, but I think you said it's starting to bounce back more.
Yeah, I think it went up like 100% today. So
oh, awesome. Okay,
I think,
cool.
I think that one will be back in the positives by next week, unless it tanks again, which it could. So
okay. AKT is doing great. That is up 71.18%. Rose is up 37.52%. 2CC's down 36.13%. Do you know why?
Yeah, because that one was always a very long shot when we picked it. It was just for fun. And it had such a small supply, so there was a chance it could boom, but nobody cared for it.
Okay. And then Filecoin is up 3.84%. So there you go. And if you're rooting for Team Smiley, Factory is down this last week, just 6.10%. Ape is up 50.79%. XNL is up 64.26%. Walk-in is just up a little, 3.89%. PBX is up 10.24%. And Myria is just up a little, 1.47%. So not bad. I'm not dying as much as I was before.
Well, the good news about Ape is for our Lazarus Pit portfolio that is still staking some Ape coin and making yield.
Nice.
That's great that it keeps going up. We, hopefully we'll get it to like $40 to $60 instead of $2. But
nice, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And then for our guests, AJ picked GOAT. That is up 50.63%. Nate picked Wooly, which is down 52.73%, but I'm hearing rumors that there's some kind of utility coming for that one. I don't know what it is yet, but we'll see how it does in the upcoming weeks. Ben is like the amazing winner. He picked Sharks, and that is up 177.77%. That thing just went crazy.
I think he bought it all just to win our contest.
Maybe. He's pretty proud if you go over the Telegram. Just mention Sharks. He gets all excited. Coach picked Slayer, and that's actually up 74.23%. Maddie picked Riva, and that's up 8.22%. And then James Pelton picked BioFi, and unfortunately that's down 31.60%. So I don't know exactly what's going on there, but hopefully it comes back up.
He sold. No.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrible. So what is your pick this week, V?
So because now memes are running like crazy again, even though my best picks seem to be the infrastructure ones, like AKT and Oasis, I'm going to go back to a meme. And this one, it's just launched yesterday. It's small. And I like the picture of the crazy rabbit. So it is Crazy Bunny. Now this team has already produced a token before on Binance Smart Chain. This one's on Solana to jump into the Solana meme fest.
Okay.
So it's only around a six or 700K market cap right now. And the previous ones have done a few million. So you're looking at, if they replicate their previous success, a couple of X's are possible. So I'm going to go with that Crazy Angry Bunny. And when they sell their NFTs now, we never know if this is true or not, but they state they're going to give a bunch to animal charities. So that's another reason I'm going to go with the Crazy Bunnies.
Well, they've been around, weren't they, on Binance before that chain?
Yeah, exactly. So they have past success. So we'll see if they can, replicate it here again.
Okay, cool. And for my pick, sorry, let me take that off. I just like Crazy Bunny. Oh my gosh. Okay, for my pick, I was looking for a swap, and actually Castlehoff recommended this one, and it's this Rocket Exchange, and they offer like one platform, and you can check out prices to swap around. I think they have over 250 different chains, and their fees are really low, and I like them. I've been using them for a while. So I looked and saw that they have a token. They have a walletless swap coming soon. They have a referral program. They've gone through many, many security audits, and they're adding chains all the time and improving their UI. Really easy for me to use, which is nice. And then I looked, and they actually plan to add a mobile app by the end of this year. So right now they're at 0.6294. And I think because they're doing well, I think it's going to keep going up. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that one. And that's my pick for the week.
So you may not know this, but that's the main one we use when we bridge funds, for example, to Solana and back.
Cool.
So we're using them. We use them also for some other bridging, and then we also use Squid Router, depending. Some chains, Squid Router is much faster and cheaper, and other ones, RocketX, does some that the other one doesn't do. So we definitely use it pretty much almost daily. So there you go.
Okay, very cool. Hopefully that they do well, or at least do well enough to keep my.
I'm interested how you do swaps without a wallet that you just mentioned.
I know. I'm curious too. So we'll see how that works. I mean, are they going to keep your funds on their chain or on their swap? I don't know. On the platform?
You can't send your funds to them with no wallet.
Yeah. I don't know. It says on the website, walletless swapping. So we'll see how that works.
I think they might have misworded that somewhat.
Well, unless, hey, they're always doing something
maybe
new.
If I just think about the swap, it will happen.
Yeah, if that worked, we'd all be rich, right?
All right.
Okay.
Well, that is my pick, and we'll see how that one does, the little bunnies.
Okay. Good luck.
All right.
Thanks, V.
Bye, monsters.
Bye. Now, before I introduce my special guest this week, I thought I would take a mental health survey to see how my mental health is doing. So you want to take it with me? Let's see. Okay, question number 1. We have to choose the best answer, and there's 3 options. Okay, 1. How often do you check your crypto portfolio in a day? 1. Once, like a normal human. 2. Every few hours, just to make sure it hasn't spontaneously combusted. Or 3, constantly refreshing because anxiety is my cardio. Crypto portfolio. I don't know. I'm online all the time. So I probably have to say probably every few hours. Question 2. What is your go-to coping mechanism when the market tanks? Is it 1, take a walk, breathe some fresh air, and maybe buy some real stocks for diversification? Is it 2, panic tweet FUD, feel less alone in your misery? Or 3, dive deeper into leverage trading to double down on your losses? Ooh, totally. I take a walk, touch grass, breathe some fresh air. That's probably pretty healthy. Third question. Your sleep schedule is best described as 1, healthy and consistent. 2, erratic, fueled by coffee and watching charts all night. Or 3, non-existent. I mean, who needs sleep when there are moonshots to chase? Mine's pretty good. I would think so. How about yours, guys? Next question. You hear someone mention fiat currency, and your first thought is 1, boring. 2, oh, that stuff that I used to buy groceries sometimes. Or 3, it's a government conspiracy to keep us poor. Sir, this is a Wendy's. I don't know. Probably stuff to use to buy groceries for me. Next question. How do you explain crypto to your grandma? Is it 1, I don't. She wouldn't understand, bless her heart. Is it 2, I try, but it usually ends with her asking if it's like Beanie Babies. Or 3, I tell her it's the future of money and then secretly hope she doesn't invest her life savings. Aw, my grandma's not around anymore, but I've tried to explain crypto to my dad. He thinks it's funny money most of the time, but I keep trying. Next question. Your dating portfolio bio mentions 1, nothing about crypto because that's totally a turnoff for some people. Is it 2, it mentions my diamond hands and a vague reference to financial freedom? Or is it 3, it mentions my dream of retiring to a Lambo-shaped island purchased solely with crypto gains? Oh, dudes, I'm totally looking forward to Monstro Island, so I probably have to pick the third option. Next one. When someone says regulation, you feel, whatever. Or 2, nervous, like the government is coming to steal your precious sats. Or 3, excited because maybe it'll finally bring stability to this crazy market. Well, I live in the US and I already mentioned before, I would like a little bit of regulation. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Let me know. And last question. How do you feel about the future of crypto? Is it 1, cautiously optimistic, but I'm in it for the long haul? B, or 2, totally stressed, but at least it's exciting? Or 3, completely delusional and convinced I'll be a billionaire by next week? We can dream, right? I don't know. I don't know if I think I'll be a billionaire, but I'm totally hopeful, guys. Also, really love it here. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so let's add up the points. Here's your crypto sanity score. 0 to 4 points. You are a grounded crypto investor with a healthy perspective. Keep calm and hold on. Okay, not bad. I think I'm pretty close to that. 5 to 8 points. You might be a little too invested. Dude, who could be too invested in crypto, right? Take a breather and diversify your portfolio. Maybe. You guys can let me know if you want to do that. I'm sticking with crypto. Love it. Or 9 to 12 points. Uh-oh, you are deep in the crypto rabbit hole. Consider a detox from charts and embrace the real world. Well, I'll think about it. Okay, so I'm really excited about my special guest. Here she is. Everyone, today I am thrilled to have Lianna Adams with us. Lianna is a trailblazer who has carved her path through media, events, and now the exciting world of Web3. And she's used her experiences and expertise to not only make a name for herself, but to leave a positive impact on the world. Welcome, Lianna.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for agreeing to chat with me today. And I would like to start our time together with a game. Are you up for that?
Oh, okay. Sure.
Oh, it's not hard. It's a word association game, and I'll just give you a word and then you say the first word that comes to mind, okay? And don't overthink it.
Okay.
Okay. The first word is chrysalis.
Butterfly.
Archetype.
Advocate.
Ooh, I like that. Tenacity.
Strength.
Interconnectedness.
Community.
Ooh, I like it too. Flux.
What?
Flux. F-L-U-X.
Okay, I was like, what did you say?
Yeah, what kind of game is this?
What? Jewelry.
Ooh, interesting. Fermentation.
Agriculture.
Legacy.
Positive impact.
Disruption.
Web3.
Oh, nice. I agree. Uncharted.
Territories.
Ooh. And ephemera.
Oh. Cosmo.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to get back to that one. I have read your biography and it is impressive. You have accomplished a lot. And usually the first question I ask my guests is to tell a little bit about their project. So today the project really is you. So what initially would you like everyone to know about you?
Well, I guess I'm I'm an artist, curator. What else? Which I'm a little bit better when it's like more questions and like, not open, like, oh, what do you want to say about yourself?
I understand. So let me ask you, if you didn't know, today is the first day of Women's History Month. So I'm curious, you could sit down for a cup of tea with any woman in history. Who would you choose and why?
I guess I would choose Maya Angelou. Because I've always loved her writing and just her philosophy, right, of life. Yeah, that's someone I'd love to sit down and have a chat with.
Excellent. So you have interviewed celebrities. You've put together award-winning events. What made you switch gears? You were in academia and then you went into production. And what spurred the change?
From what?
From being
Sorry.
from being a student and learning and interviewing people, but then you started producing on your own, didn't you?
Yeah, so I mean, I started my career in broadcast media, and I produce Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Family Fortune, Celebrity Squares, and Jeopardy, I think. Yeah,
Wow.
Pop Stars. Yeah, so I did quite a lot of game shows and reality show formats, but I didn't really study broadcast, right? Like I went to university and I dropped out because I decided, life was happening outside of the classroom, right? So I decided to, just start working, and that's how I started my career, being a production assistant first, and then, I moved up to be a producer. And after that, I kind of moved into music channel, and that's where I interview a lot of celebrities and artists, and yeah, it was fun.
Oh, that's great. I like that. And I also noticed from your biography that you were a caregiver, and I'm sorry for your loss. I happen to be a caregiver myself. I take care of my mom who has Parkinson's, and I know that it is more challenging than people realize, and it is something that requires a lot of patience and energy. And so when you were caring for your mom and your husband, how did that change your art specifically?
Well, that, looking after them and being a caregiver for them, it really brought up, I felt very connected, right? I felt very connected to the universe. I also felt very connected to them, and I was very surprised that I could, be my best self in the worst of times, right? And with that, I began to notice a lot more stuff like, nature, and being really in the present moment. So that kind of changed my art a little bit, where I was, looking beyond the surface of everything, whether it's patterns or textures, you know, and even raindrops, right? Like I would be so amused with raindrops. You know, I could sit there and just look at raindrops like, oh, that looks like, you know, that looks really amazing. So yeah, it really, I would say, like, widened my perspective. And yeah, I just felt very connected to, you know, everything.
I like that. It forces you to appreciate the moment you are in, because you don't know what the future holds or how far that's going to extend. So that's beautiful. And I
Yeah.
noticed behind you, is that one of your handbags that you have painted?
Oh yeah. Yes.
So
Yep.
can we see it a little closer? Do you mind picking it up and holding it up a little closer?
Sure.
Wow, that is beautiful. So how did you paint that? What kind of paints do you use?
I use leather paint.
Oh,
And in fact, like you know, my bag series, I have another one here as well. Like
ooh, that's
so
gorgeous.
yeah. Actually that kind of happened when my mom passed away.
Mhm.
And you know, I was supposed to go through, you know, her papers and you know, sort out her estate, right? But that became a distraction for me, and I was like, okay, I'll just paint another bag, right? Before I do the, you know, before I tackle the pile of documents, and I found myself like finding all
Mhm.
these like old bags to paint. And yeah, I've got a collection of bags.
Oh, nice. And do you sell them as well?
I haven't started selling them just yet. I've just been, you know, painting, and I will sell them at some point. I'm trying to set up my shop at the moment on my website. So yeah, watch this space.
Oh, that's great. Yes, let us know when they're available. And
Definitely.
yes, and I know that you not only paint handbags, but I've seen all kinds of things that you've worked on. You've worked on murals and you do painting, and then you've also produced a lot of different NFTs, which I'm going to show later. And you even used art and tech to help people during the crisis in Afghanistan. That is
Mhm.
amazing. Can you just share the story of what happened and how that started?
Yeah, so it was August 15th, 2021. And you know, it was the fall of Kabul. And so my friend Nahid, who's an Afghan, you know, we decided to do a fundraiser. And at that time, you know, it was so early days, you know, in the NFT space, right? That
Mhm.
we decided to create a blueprint, you know, using blockchain technology to raise funds for the people in Afghanistan. And we managed to galvanize the community to donate art. And yeah, we raised money that way. And we made sure that we had people on the ground that we could funnel the funds to. So we've, you know, basically fed 100 families. We've provided healthcare, and also, you know, just food and basic necessities for about 3 months. And we've also placed 16 girls into private educational institution, and they've just graduated. So I'm really happy about that. Yeah.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Were
Yeah.
you able to go to Afghanistan to visit?
No, because at that time, with the Taliban, it was really difficult.
Mm,
But we managed to get a couple of protesters out as well. You know, women activists. So
mhm,
that was a really amazing time. Amazing, you know. It's a bad situation, but you know, I say
mhm,
amazing because it was one of the most profound experiences in my Web3 journey, right? To see, you know, something out like this, like, you know, it had tangible social impact, you know. And what I really loved about that whole time was the community coming together to,
mhm.
you know, to help, right? And to create positive change.
And I noticed that you have continued to produce NFTs with your artwork in order to support different causes that you believe in. And let me see if I can pull this up and share. I love this one. This one's called Eternal. And can you tell us a little bit about what spurred this production?
So Eternal, actually, that's Eternal Blooms. And so every World Cancer Day, I would create art to honor my mom and my husband, and also the caregivers, right? To serve as a reminder to caregivers that they have the strength to carry on, and to be resilient, and to celebrate them as well, because as you know, being a caregiver, it's a thankless job, right?
Yes.
And people normally don't really remember the caregivers, and how much they've had to put up with, caring for their loved ones, and also seeing, their loved ones deteriorate, like, in front of them, right? So that's the whole purpose of my annual World Cancer Day art. It's just to serve as a reminder.
Oh, I love it. And then here's another one that I saw. I love the colors on this. This is gorgeous.
Thank you. Well, that's Scarab. And that's a funny story, actually, because I had actually taken time out from doing art because I was so burnt out. I was doing a lot, right, in the space. I was having weekly rooms, and I was also having one-on-one sessions with creators and artists, and also supporting other people when they have their spaces. So I kind of really burned out at one point, and it was so extreme to the point I didn't find joy in art anymore, which was really scary because I would normally go to art when I have, when I need comfort or when I need to heal, right? But this time I felt so disconnected with art, purely from the burnout, and maybe depression as well, I don't know, right? It was a long 8 months of not doing art. And actually Scarab is my first art that I did coming out of this burnout.
Oh, it's beautiful too. I love it.
Thank you.
Yes, and I'm going to run along the bottom here. This is Ms. Adams' website. If anyone is interested in checking out the NFTs that she has available and the other artwork, and your biography and everything about you is on the website there. And so I just wanted to run that there.
Thank you.
I noticed also that you host a weekly mental health spaces. What is that all about? What can people do when they join?
So I kind of started that weekly mental health check-in space in 2021, October 10th, which is World Mental Health Day, also my birthday. And I kind of started that because a friend of mine actually took his own life, a few days before, and I decided, that we, in the Web3 space, we needed to have a place, a safe space, just to check in, right? Not to talk about NFTs, or not to talk about our art, but, to talk about what's going on in our lives, and what's taking up hit space, what's heavy in the heart. And I've been doing that ever since, every Sunday. So, coming in, I don't record the spaces for everyone's privacy. And really, it's just a place for everyone to share, without judgment. But it's not medical advice. I always say that at the start of the session, that they should still, seek medical help if they need it. It's not to diagnose or to, anything like that. So it's really just a place to share.
No, I I like that. I think that everyone here has their own story and their life that they're going
Mhm.
through. And to be able to be heard by other people, that is a gift you can give to someone, to just actually listen to them and let them share who they are and what they're going through. That's beautiful. I love that.
Thank you. I mean, the first step in understanding your problem and just having a bit more peace is when you share, right? Because by
Right.
sharing, you're taking that first step, in
Hmm.
acknowledging, and you never know who you could be helping by sharing your problem, by
That's
being
true.
vulnerable. So yeah, that's the whole reason why I encourage people to share, when they come to the space.
That's great. And I love that you are using the metaverse for good. But what do you think it will mean for the future and how we hang out? I mean, do you think that is going to be harder for people to stay connected because we are so separated by our technology?
Yeah, technology is a funny thing, right? Like, and also social media. It's meant
Hmm.
to bring people closer, but I think it's actually pulling people apart. And I feel like, yeah, if we're not careful, we will be very disconnected with, one another, because I think with being in the metaverse and also with social media, it's uh yeah, it's difficult because sometimes you also come across, like, cyberbullying and all of that. So there's a lot of different elements at play here, you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
No, I think so. And I also am concerned that people, like you said, use and I am not doxxed, as you can see. You don't know what I
Yeah.
look like. And I use that to protect myself and my family, but I think a lot of people use it also to hide, and they use it as a mask, and then they attack other people, or they say things that they wouldn't normally say when they're face to face with a person. So unfortunately, I see this trend towards people hurting each other, whether it's
Mhm.
intentional or not, and it really can drag down the space and make it a very negative place to be. And I think that does affect your mental health as well. And so I would encourage people to step away, like we call it in crypto, touch grass. Just go outside
Yeah.
and get away, from your computer, because it can really affect your mental health and your ability to actually even just do your work or live your life.
Yeah, I mean, I touch on this subject like a lot.
Hmm.
And which is why I'm really passionate about cultivating a humanity first culture,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, technology is just a tool, right?
Right.
Uh, with our shared humanity, we're not going to get compassion all of a sudden just because we use the technology, right? it's
Hmm.
it's a it's a human experience, and we need to do the work. So we need to
Right.
cultivate that in the space. And as more people are coming into Web3, the metaverse, we really need to set some, not ground rules, but more like a code of conduct, right?
Hmm.
um, what is acceptable and what is not. And we see a lot of bullying, we see a lot of harassment, and yeah, it's quite scary as well, because with kids, they don't understand sometimes that they're being bullied, or they're being abused, right?
Right.
So I think the education needs to start with the family, within the family unit, and then maybe in schools, right? So yeah, we've still got a long way to go to make it a safe space, a completely safe space. And I think it's we need to have almost like a roundtable discussion with like devs and everyone involved, right? So that we get to the root of the problem and find ways to find solutions for it.
I
If
think
that
that's
makes
a great idea. I'm going to put that one on my calendar. Yeah.
awesome.
And I promised I'd get back to it. So you had Ultimo Ombre. Was that your baby where you combined esports with good causes? How did that get going?
Yeah, so Ultimo Hombre was my esports company before I got into Web3, and actually that was with my husband, but we kind of had to let go of the reins when he fell ill. But yeah, so we were the first esports company, esports events to create a e-waste recycling program, and also with people bringing their e-waste, we pass it to a company to then break everything down and see what works and what can be salvaged. And what they'll do with that is they create and they'll customize maybe a keyboard for a gamer with a disability, right? So that they
Ooh.
get to they get to play their favorite game, and they're not hindered by their disability. And that was really beautiful because it really leveled the playing field for the gamers with disabilities, and they were playing with able gamers, and most of the time they won, right? So
I love it. That's great. Because
so that's
really,
yeah.
you're
That's
only
ultimately.
hindered by your physical disability in that situation because their brains are just as intelligent and they're just as abled in that respect, you know?
Exactly.
I love
Exactly.
that.
And most of the time they wouldn't even get the chance to play against an able, bodied gamer, right? So
Mhm.
that was one of the things that I wanted to achieve, like, to give them that experience of almost being like the superstar.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. That's beautiful. You're just
Thank you.
figuring out different ways to lift people up and give them opportunities, and that's what we should all be about. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
So, what's next for you? What's your new adventure that you're just itching to tackle?
Well, I've got a couple of projects in the pipeline. I do have a podcast coming up. I'm still working on it. It's
Mhm.
still in the making. And yeah, another one. I mean, I can't really say too much about it, but let's just say it involves augmented reality.
Ooh, I like that. That's great. I think there's a lot of people who are still kind of hesitant to enter the Web3 space. Would you have any advice for them to encourage them to get involved?
Yeah, I would say, get your get your feet on the table, right? And
Mhm.
because, scammers are all going to be out there in like different industries. They have scammers as well. It's not specifically and exclusive to Web3, right? But
Right.
I would say, find your tribe and take things slow. And what I've realized is we need to bring back the slow movement, because everyone's just rushing from one thing to another
Mhm.
in this space. And I don't think that is very healthy, because then it kind of breeds the scarcity mindset, right? Because then you're always chasing for something, you're always running after something, you don't take the time to celebrate your wins. So that's, I guess, the first advice I'd give them, to take things slow, take it, take their time, don't rush into things, and just really, explore the potential of Web3, because, again, like I said, it's a tool. Yeah, we can use that, to bring people together, to be connected, and yeah, and to create and collaborate.
I agree with you. I love community and education. And I encourage people too to just enter a space, enter a project, and just get to know the people and listen for
Mhm.
a while. We,
Mhm.
I think, tend to fall into this trap of, I need to invest now. I need to do it now. I need to
Yeah,
buy now. And
yeah.
what you're saying makes a lot of sense. There is no pressure really, unless we really want to do those things. But we tend to fall into this trap of a peer pressure kind of thing where we feel like we have to do like everybody else is doing, but we don't. We really can just go and enjoy and learn and
Exactly. And I think, because when people come in, they'll want to, I guess, see who's successful and try to emulate them, right?
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I think success is very personal, and it's very subjective. It's how you define and measure success. For me, it's not just monetary gains. It's connections with people. It's just having that good connection with your community. That's a win for me. Being able to help someone, that's a win for me. So it really depends on the individual and how they see success.
That's awesome. Now, I would think for me, just doing art would be my relaxation, but that's
Mhm.
also kind of your job. So, how do you take time for yourself to balance your personal life and your professional life so that you maintain that good mental health?
Yeah, I do set boundaries. I've
Mhm.
been
Good.
getting better at setting boundaries. Um, and so I do have time where I just block out to rest and just do nothing. And also, people have this misconception that when they're doing nothing, they're not being productive, right? But actually,
Right.
when you're doing nothing, that's when your brain actually solve problems, while you're doing
Mhm.
nothing, right? And that's why they say, like, step away from your problem. Whenever you've got an issue or you've got a problem to solve, it's always good to just step away for a minute, so that you have a different perspective, and then
Mhm.
you'll get the answers.
I also like to do some deep breathing and meditation. I
Mhm.
just like to, you know, really take stock of what's going on around me and how I feel. I think we get so busy, busy, busy that we ignore our bodies, and we're all connected. I believe this, where your mental health and your physical health and your spiritual health is all interconnected. And when one is not healthy, I think it affects everything else. So I like what you said. I'm still going to remember this, as you're the lady who reminded me to go out and look at raindrops.
Yeah. Yes. And dance
I
in the
think it's
rain,
cool. Yes, I love it. I totally do that. I've actually taken video of myself dancing in the rain because I just love
Amazing.
weather.
Yeah, I love looking at rain. I find it very calming. In fact, I
Mhm.
also love looking at thunderstorms, with the
Yes.
lightning. I'm just, yeah, I just love looking at it.
It's beautiful and it's
Yeah,
ginormous, you know? It makes you realize perspective in the
yeah.
world and in life, and it's just cool. And then I think about all the other people around the world that, rain is in a cycle and how it touches
Mhm.
me, and then that rain goes back up and then it touches other people as well. And so it's just kind of a cool way to
Exactly.
feel interconnected.
Yeah, and also, if you think about it, water is healing, right? So when it
Yes,
rains, it washes off, like it's cleansing. So yeah, rain is not a bad thing. Rain is actually a good thing
it
for me.
is. I love that. Cool. Okay, so my last question for you
Mhm.
is actually back to crypto related. We have this contest, my boss and I, where we are picking different crypto tokens every single week and trying to see who can have a better portfolio at the end of a couple of months. Do you have a token that you would like to pick and that you think will do well in the next few weeks?
Well, I don't like to speculate. So
That's
I,
fine.
I might like just pass on that question.
No worries. It's optional.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. It's great. I really enjoyed our talk today. I must admit, I was a little nervous ahead of time because reading your biography, and you've accomplished so much, and it's just impressive. You're like a role model for me, someone to aspire to that has done so much in their
Thank
life.
you.
And I love your artwork, and I'm so happy to be able to
Yeah.
share that with everyone and who you are. And so I
Thank
encourage
you.
everyone, check out your website, and if you like, visit the mental health spaces on Sunday. And I just thank you so much for our chat today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I really enjoyed our chat. And
Oh,
yeah,
great.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Time for games. Okay, so we've been having a weekly game in Monstro Mondays, and last week we closed out the previous game series, and Tiberius won a Farms D NFT, and he's claimed that, so congratulations again. And I thought, kind of going along with how we are all different and we all have different talents and abilities and interests, this week, instead of actually playing a game during our episode, I'm going to put out a contest, a meme contest, because I love to look at funny memes. I love to laugh. We have two people, especially in our server, which is Style and Kesselhoff. They are always making me laugh with their memes. So make up your memes, guys, especially ones related to Monstro, and drop them into the chat in the Discord for everyone to enjoy and laugh at. They don't have to be funny. They can just be entertaining or offer a different perspective on life. But if you want to make up a meme, actually, you can drop as many as you want into the channel, and everyone who makes one gets one ticket to win next month. Our big giveaway is going to be a special edition St. Patrick's Day NFT. And I know some of you love collecting all the holiday collection. And V dropped a little alpha in one of the recent AMAs that if you have every single one of those NFTs in the collection, there's going to be something special at the end that you can redeem them for. So that is definitely one I would like to have. So again, meme contest, make up one, make up as many as you want, drop them in the chat in our Discord server, and if you make one, you get a ticket to possibly win that St. Patrick's Day NFT. So remember, guys, I love this episode. It's on my heart for everyone to have good mental health, to feel balanced in this space. So just a couple of tips of advice, if you'll take them from Smiley Monster. Find your people. Surround yourself with a supportive community, online and offline. People who understand that life has ups and downs. Things don't always go the way that we planned. Case in point is my laptop being totally possessed by weird music. Have somebody you can talk to. Just talking about it makes a difference. I actually plan to join Miss Adams' mental health spaces on Twitter X on Sunday. It's at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, just to listen. I don't know if I'll talk, but just be able to listen to other people share about what's going on in their life. I think it would be helpful. Another piece of advice is if you can, touch grass. Literally, get outside, watch the raindrops, look at the nature, touch horses. I have horses at my place. Love just brushing the horses. It calms me down, it grounds me. Step away from the screen. You know, Miss Adams talked about setting boundaries for yourself and disconnecting. Take some time to do that. Every day, every week, we get so focused in on the constant news, the constant price updates, the FOMOing of can we find the next meme coin that is going to pump? But don't be afraid to close your laptop, give your mind a break, and go focus on something else. Spend time in person with the people that you love. So remember, your well-being is always more important than any market trend. Take care of yourself, guys. And I'm going to be in the Discord. I'm always around. Come by and say hi to me. Let's chat. Let's talk about life. Share what's going on. I love the Monster community because we can do that. We can talk about anything we want, and sometimes we do. Sometimes we get a little crazy in there, but we're really friendly and welcoming, and we love new monsters. So invite your friends. They don't always have to come over and have a specific question or purpose. Just come hang out with us, okay? So I'm going to sign off for now. I will see you next week on the next episode of Monstro Mondays. And until then, keep smiling, guys.